All right. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. We are back. Yes, it's Happy Halloween Part 2. We're coming back to back. We had a little bit of a hiccup, but I'm glad we were able to work it out. So we do have Kayla is going to join us. Looks like one of her interviews ran over. And I appreciate you guys jumping in the chat and letting me know what was going on, but it was not intentional. Actually, Kojo just hit me and was like, I'm sorry, the interview ran a little long. So we're gonna start fresh. We're gonna start fresh. I'm gonna bring my girl Kayla on and we're gonna get into this. First of all, happy Halloween, everybody. Like I said, I'm super excited today because today I got advanced copies of my book. So that made me super, super, super excited. I'm going to be sharing a little bit more with that with you guys later. But tonight it's all about Halloween and it's all about Ready to Love. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Kayla in. Hey, girl.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm really glad we were able to make this work tonight. So thank you for joining. Happy
Yes, I'm so
Halloween.
sorry.
No problem. No problem at all. It definitely happens. We don't go as long, but I know some interviews do run long. Kojo actually hit me and was like, I apologize. It ran a little bit
Oh,
late. So, anyway, we're getting started. The first thing I said, Happy Halloween.
thank you. What you
What
want to
was,
know my costume this year?
yes, I was going to ask you, what was your costume?
I'm Kayla from Ready to Love.
That's enough, right? Actually, I believe wasn't one of your nicknames Kayla with the cakes? Kayla,
Yes, I got them cakes.
Kayla with the cakes and Ready to Love. I was going to ask you, what is your favorite? What has been your favorite Halloween costume that you've seen this year? And you guys can let me know in the comments too. What has been your favorite costume that you've seen online this year?
Probably Lizzo as Krishan Rock. That is hilarious.
That was that was crazy. She got a little. Lizzo does stuff to get, and she gets a lot of backlash. Did you think that was like in poor taste for her to do that with the tooth, or you just thought it was funny?
No, Krishan Rock is a public figure.
She is a public figure. She is, bless her heart, a public figure. So Monica dressed up as Lisa, and she did like the Lisa Left Eye Lopez.
Yep.
She did the mugshot, and a lot of people were saying that it was in poor taste. I don't think it was in poor taste.
So sensitive these days. Oh my
They
goodness.
are why as I why so serious. I do think Diddy probably like should wear
Yeah,
something.
Diddy showed out.
I don't know what the hell was happening. He
I
was
also like Lotto. I like Lotto too.
what I didn't see her. What was she?
She was I can't even remember it, but it was like a spooky like mummy or something. I don't even know. But
Let
it
me
was just dope. Like her glam team got it all the way together. I just love the look.
Yeah, yeah. I
Hmm.
I guess you got to give Kim Kardashian went all the way out as Mystique.
Yeah, Mystique.
That was, I mean, I don't know how. I wonder how far in advance people do their costumes because that was a whole. I don't know how she got into that outfit or how she
All day.
got, but
All day.
that was a lot. I do have to shout her out because you guys know I represent TLC, and her daughter North and her friends were the most adorable version of TLC ever. So shouts out to them. Um,
Yes.
so yeah, so let me ask you this though, Kayla. What
Yes.
was and my chat as well.
Yeah.
What has been your scariest date? Because we think of dating and
Scary.
being in the dating world, there are some very scary things. So what
Scary.
has been your scariest date? The date that you were like, "Oh my god, I got to get out of here. This is the scariest situation I've been in on a first date."
Oh wow. Scary.
Have you had a scary first date?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't think I've ever had a date where I felt like I was in danger. There's a dates I have with someone where I felt uncomfortable.
Okay.
Like I was like, mm, I don't know who you roll with, like who you really are. This may not be the best place for me to be.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've had like a date where I was afraid or scared. No.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-mm.
I think I had a situation where I this guy asked me out. He was in a car. So I gave him my number. We talked on the phone. Everything was fine. I get to the restaurant like a week later and he's like almost like a little person. it was just weird. He was
What?
very, very short. Yeah, yeah. Nothing is wrong with little people. I just wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting him to be so small, and it was just weird. It was a weird. It was weird. It was super weird. So I
Yeah. Wow.
my scariest day because not only was he very, very small, but he also was very, like, you could tell he kind of had a chip on his shoulder because he knew I did not know that he was small.
Nope. Short man syndrome. Don't
Short
do it.
man syndrome, but it
Do
was in rare
not,
form.
do not do it. Do not do it.
Stay tuned says scariest date was getting catfish from POF. She lied about her height. Voice was deep like Barry White. And I had see that
Oh
is
no.
see, see,
Nah,
see.
I've had more like embarrassing dates where like I went on a date one time with a guy and like I used the bathroom and the toilet exploded on me.
Oh, that might have
Yeah,
been scary
it
for
was like
him.
an ish. It was like, thank God I only peed, but it was like
Oh my
all
god.
over me. Yeah, and I came out and I'm just wet, and we just looking at each other. It's just like this should be in a
That is
movie.
scary for
This
you.
should be in a movie or something. It was
Yeah.
so weird. Then so he took me. We went to Walmart. He got me a bunch of towels and like clothes. He was sweet about it, and
Okay.
ice and got me ice cream like I was a kid or something, and then
Try
took me home.
to make you feel better after getting the toilet exploding. That is
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is
That's
the
probably the worst date I've had because I was just like, why me, Lord? But that was God telling me to run away from that boy, which I did.
it was immediately the toilet exploded to tell you that. Celaya says a man fell on top of me trying to sneak a kiss. Him and the bar stool hit the floor because I was leaning back to avoid the kiss.
Ooh,
Yeah. Happy Halloween.
happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. All right, let's get into Ready to Love Kayla with the cakes because we have been talking all season long. And I'm just trying to think, like, I'm trying to figure out where I want to start with you, but I would just say, let's start here. What would you do differently if you could do this entire season over again? We just saw the part two of the reunion on Friday. But
Right.
before we get into all of this, I just want to know, like, from you, what do you think if you could, looking back, knowing everything that you know now about all the characters that are on the show, what would you do different if you could start from day one at that pool party all over again?
I think I would have a family emergency
And just not do it?
and see if I can come back for cast B, you know?
Okay.
Because you know they do two casts in every city.
Right.
And I would just be like, Anthony, please, hey, listen, like I had a family emergency, but I'm ready now. And
But
just
you don't think
hope for a better selection.
you
I
think
don't know.
that's the
I
only
don't
thing that could
know.
have done? Okay, so all
Because I'm
right, well
still
let's
thinking, like, knowing what I know now, like, what could I do differently? Like,
yeah,
I could be of me less of myself and
no.
like maybe or maybe I probably would have watched more Ready to Love before
Okay.
to
Okay.
see like how this is gonna go. Cause I really came into it like I'm just gonna be myself, like do move how we like this Miami. Let's do how
But
like
that's
show,
not
you know
bad.
what I mean?
I don't think that's bad to move like yourself ever. I mean, I think that's always, I actually can appreciate people that do move like themselves as opposed to trying to do something different for the show. So what
But that wasn't the premise, though. I felt like a lot of people there were just kind of like, how does it look and how does it go and like what looks like what versus kind of
really?
like, even a lot of the men were just like, I'm here with 10 women. How does it look when I'm doing this and doing that? It's just kind of like, why that? Like, wow.
What okay, give us an example because I don't know what you mean by that. Saying a lot of the men do you think they were connecting with certain people because of how it would look? Or
We're not connecting with certain people because of how it would look. Like, I think both was going on um throughout.
okay. Okay. All right. Well,
And yeah.
let's talk about what you decide, what you did.
Okay.
Obviously, at the pool party,
Mhm.
you are a beautiful woman and have no problem showcasing that. So you came in, you looked very confident, you knew what you were bringing to the table, and had no problem showing the ladies. I mean,
It
showing.
was time to get in the pool, so we get in the pool.
You
It was I had a long, long cover up, and I put it back on when I got out of the pool.
you
But when
did.
it's time to get in the pool, baby, it's time to get in the pool.
I'm not mad at it. There's nothing wrong with it. That's what it called for. The moment called for it. But what were your thoughts when you first got there? Because I just feel like it was a little overwhelming. It was all these people like almost naked. A lot was going on. What were your thoughts when you first got there to the pool? Is somebody there with you, Kayla? What's happening?
No, I have 2 screens, so I'm just looking at the,
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
looking at the comments so people
Okay.
I'll move it over so I don't have to
Okay.
keep
I'm
looking
sick because
that
we're
far.
getting.
Sorry.
I'm getting off. Like, what is she looking at?
Yeah, no. Um, okay. Um, so when I first got there, I was disappointed because I walk in, I don't see anyone.
Okay.
I don't know where all the people are. I'm like,
Okay.
what's going on? I don't really see anyone. And then I start seeing people, and then they're like, everybody come around the pool because Tommy's coming in. So then Tommy comes out and says, Miami, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
And so a lot of the people I'm seeing for the very first time around that pool.
Okay.
So I'm like, damn, like everybody been here for hours, just all chummy chummy, and I'm walking in like,
So were you were you like at the very were you like the last person to come or
I don't know
almost
if I was the last, but I was close to last. Yeah, like the party started, I think, at like 11. I don't think I came in until like 4 or 5.
were you late or did you just
No, everybody got there at the same time. People came in at certain times.
oh, okay, so they kind of staggered it to where they could have people come in. Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I always ask everybody what initially because physical attraction is what starts the party.
That's the initial. So
Yeah.
initially, I was most physically attracted to Swayze Randall. And I mean, I thought Justice was attractive too,
Mhm.
you know. Um, I mean, and I thought Calvin was very attractive, but then he talked to me, then he disappeared, you know.
Yeah, he had to, yeah, he was.
He was the first person to talk to me.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, it was first him, then Randall was second. Um, yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about what those initial conversations because you said Randall, Justice, Swayze, and Calvin, which we know Calvin had to leave for a family emergency like as soon as he got there. So let's talk about the other three. What was the initial conversation like with let's start with Swayze.
Our initial conversation was that you see on the show. That's probably one of the most authentic moments. It was when we first started talking, like, so who are you? What do you do? You know, where are you from? Um, it was fun. It was a lot of laughs. Him and Devin were funny. Like they
Mm-hmm.
were funny. We was laughing our butts off. It was good energy. And you know, I'm funny too. Like I like to joke, I like to jest and like, you know, do some some roasting. Like it was fun, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Um that was the conversation with him. Like it
Okay.
was really like just it was fun.
Do you feel like he was interested in you? Did he try to get your number or try to connect with you after that?
No, I felt like he was interested in the moment, but no, like he didn't try to get my number or anything. Not
Okay.
that night. Not for a while actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move to Justice because I'm gonna do Randall last. Let's move to Justice. What was that interaction like?
Um, Justice was really popular with the ladies.
He was the
So
first couple of episodes. Justice was the man. Yeah.
yeah, because it just off attraction. And Justice is actually really personable.
Mm-hmm.
Justice is really like he's a party promoter for a reason. He knows how to talk to people, you
Right.
know. Um, yeah, and I think I can't remember exactly how it went down, but he was like, "Yo, I'm about to talk to you. We about to talk. Come over here. You need a drink? Let me get this drink. We about to talk." So we talked, and then it was cool.
Okay.
And then during that time, Mike came and tapped my shoulder. And was like, "Hey, whenever you get a second, I want to talk to you. Whatever, whatever."
Okay.
Um, and that's kind of how that went.
So were you attracted initially to Mike?
I was attracted to Mike, but I just didn't see Mike. Mike was
Okay.
very standoffish. He just was like not. I didn't see him like being assertive with the ladies. He's
Mhm.
not assertive like that. He's more
Okay.
chill. Like he was like I guess like Brandy said, I didn't take it as shy, but maybe now that I know him a little bit more now, maybe he was just kind of shy.
He can't be shy.
I don't know,
Oh,
girl, but he
he's
was not assertive. Like he was like just kind of chilling. Like
okay.
I remember even like Like he just kind of went with the flow. I remember even when we were at the gazebo, and I started talking about like the stuff I do on YouTube. And I'm
Mhm.
like, yeah, we like to ask spicy questions. Let me ask everybody a question. And I started talking about, I think it was DJ Envy or
Mhm.
some in the news. It's like, so what would you do? And we were going around, blah, blah, blah. Mike was sitting right next to me. We was vibing and stuff.
Mhm.
And then Brandy came over and sat in his lap. And I was like,
That first
that
initially?
first day. Yeah. And I
Okay.
was like, well, we just got here. We don't know these people. I was like, damn. And so I actually asked him about it. He was just like, a beautiful girl sitting in my lap. What I'm about to do? I'm like, okay. Like he just chill. He's chill like that. Like he's
Yeah.
just kind of chill. Like, um, yeah.
Miss Brown said he ain't shy on IG. I don't think he's shy. I think he's just used to getting a lot of attention. And why go after something that's coming after you? I mean, that
He's used to women coming after him,
yeah,
probably messaging him, DMing him, coming, like
yeah.
he's kind of used to that energy. And
Yeah.
I am too. So, like you said, we're quite similar.
So let's talk about how Kayla dates outside of the show, because we talked a little bit about just your initial thoughts. But are you the type of woman that will go up to a guy? Are you the kind that will kind of wait and let them come to you? What's your dating philosophy like in the real world?
I very rarely go up to guys. There's times where I may see somebody I like, I will drop my card or something like that. Like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
especially if I see someone that may possibly be of high value and very busy and just not aware,
Mm-hmm.
I've dropped my card, you know. But
Okay.
for the most part, I just let the men come to me, and I just like whoever is like
Whoever chooses
what
you.
they like, and they want, yeah.
Okay. How would you
Mhm.
define, because you use the term high value? I know that's like a buzzword now. How do you define a high value man? Like what is Kayla looking for when she says high value?
Okay, so one of the main things that I mean when I say high value is I mean a man of integrity.
Okay.
So that's very important to the matter because we all have our shit. We all have to whatever. When you're single, you're doing whatever, but just keep it real. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So I really value that. And then I also value someone that is tenacious and
Okay.
innovative because, yeah, you can have money, you can lose it all, but can you get it back?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's the kind of man that I like, man that makes shit happen. That's a boss, not just because he's an actual boss, but a boss in the way that he runs his life. Like he is intentional about the moves he's making out here and stuff like that. I'm attracted to, people that do shit.
Okay.
Passionate about whatever they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, and that tends to create.
Now, does it have a tax bracket attached to it, a salary attached to it? Because we know from you coming from, not so humble beginnings, I would assume
I came from humble beginnings. Both my parents came from nothing. Both my parents grew up in the hood.
your parents grew up in the hood, but you didn't grow up in the hood.
Well, they work hard for a reason.
No, but that's not a bad thing. I'm saying that's a good thing. That's what all of us want, to get to the point where our children don't have that
Yeah.
background. So I'm saying for you to grow up
Yeah.
in a more privileged situation, I'm sure I would say, for my daughter, I don't want her into the struggle of, like, it's no,
Yeah.
there is no
There is an
honor
expectation.
for
There is an
that.
expectation for my family to be with like a doctor, a lawyer.
But I'm asking, what is your expectation for who you date?
I mean, I just expect you to be doing better than me.
Okay.
That's all I expect,
Financially,
is you to be
financially.
doing better than me. So that if I'm not doing anything, i.e., I want to homeschool, I want to be a very hands-on mother. I believe in like seasons in life. And when it's time for motherhood, like I'm doing motherhood. I'm not trying to be doing a whole lot of
So
stuff
he
like
needs to be able to provide to where you could, if you guys were to get married and were to have children, you could stay home.
correct. And I could
That has a
homeschool
number.
for the
That
first
has a
7 years.
number. There
Mhm.
is a number for that.
There's a number, but it just depends. Like, what city do you live in? Like, what's the debt? What is our investments looking like? What is the passive? What is the W-2? Like, all these different things. Because there are people that make money but have a lot of debt, and there's people that don't make a lot of money but their investments do very well. I mean, for the most part, I would say over 6 figures. Let's just go with
Okay, thank you. That's how I just want to make. I'm just trying to get to the.
that.
Come on, Kay. Like, no. So, because a guy that's not making at least, and I would say probably have to be,
I would
definitely.
say like two. I would say around minimally probably like 10 to 15K a month.
Okay. So I have to ask this: do you think anybody in the cast was at that place?
Well, Zoe, that's another reason why I kind of like, after that bet thing happened, I kind of leaned into that because I was
Mhm.
like, this makes sense, if it
Yeah.
don't make money, it don't make sense, right?
Mhm.
So this makes sense. So let's see where this goes,
And
So
what
yeah,
happened?
that's
What
that.
happened with that?
I After the whole Charisse thing, I was kind of like, oh nah, like you said he did what now? So I was kind of like, let's just be friends. I wasn't. Yeah, we just after that. I mean, he stopped talking to he left the show, and we still communicate after that. We still communicate now, but it's just we're just cool.
Was he pursuing you before that?
Um, he was showing interest. He wasn't doing like active pursuing
Hmm.
until like after the kiss happened. Then we started talking every day and like FaceTiming and doing all that. Then we had another date off camera they don't show, and we spent some time even together, like just you know.
Okay.
After that whole Charisse thing, I was like, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I don't know. Like we all have our flaws. We have things we have to work on.
Yeah.
I don't want to work on those things with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was interesting because I think for us as the viewer, it was really weird to see why he was that angry that fast, right? Did you guys see any behavior prior to that?
No, I like Zoe prior to that. Zoe's a frat dude. I went to HBCU, so I'm all here for the frat guys.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And like he was giving me all of that. You
Okay.
know, I didn't see that coming. I was shocked. They actually don't even show in the thing, I also was like kind of like I was also holding Sharice accountable. I'm like, well, what really happened? Because like you
Okay.
can't just say that. You can say whatever. He shouldn't feel any kind of way. You know what
True.
I mean? I still was trying to see his side. I
Right.
didn't see that footage though. I didn't see that footage until we all saw the footage.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So what
No,
was
no, no,
did
or
he
I
have
saw that
a
at the reunion.
did he have a side? Did anybody ask him like why he was that angry at her?
I literally didn't want to know. I was like, I don't want to be involved.
Okay.
I didn't never ask him about it. Just at the reunion, I was sitting next to him. So when that whole thing was going on, Sharice, I literally had my hand on his lap and I was like, stop, stop.
He would not.
And he was not listening to me or Tommy or nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I was just kind of like, I don't, you know what? I don't even want to bring it up. I don't want to talk about it. I
Yeah.
don't want nothing to do with this.
Yeah. I was just wondering, like, when he left the show, because that scene was really hard to watch. Did anybody like ask him? Because it felt like there had to be
Yeah,
something
I
else.
called him because
Okay.
I was on stage when that Swayze thing happened. Remember, I was on stage with Mike
Right.
and Brandy.
No, no, no. I mean, when he because he came back to the reunion and
Oh,
the same energy that he was at
oh
when
yeah.
they were on the date, on the group date, and he went and
I
they
was
were into it.
shocked. He came to the reunion with that same energy. I'm
I
like,
was
it's been 2 months.
2 months, slept and ate, all kinds of things. Like, huh,
I
that's
didn't understand it. I just know he felt like Sharice was fake. He felt like 1 minute she was being cool, 1 minute she was being nice, nasty, and he felt like just being consistent with me.
yeah,
And so I was just kind of like, okay, but like you didn't have to do all of that.
yeah. That was weird. That was weird. But you also had some run-ins with Sharice as well.
Mhm.
That this that initial scene where she was talking about Dominica, and you were like, I'm gonna go back and tell her what she said. I thought I was a bitch, but Sharice is definitely. I thought that was hilarious. Did you? And then even after, like, it seemed like you were kind of not feeling her energy all the time. So I would. That's why I thought, well, maybe she does know the other side to that because Sharice did have quite a few run-ins with other members of the cast besides Zoe. Not as bad as with Zoe, is besides that.
That's true. I got to know Sharice differently after the show, but I mean, I get kind of where people were, just like you have to get to know her. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? If you don't know her, sometimes it's kind of like, and so we definitely had our run-ins. We actually had a whole argument in the ladies' lounge.
What was the
Um,
argument about?
I don't even know.
Okay, all
I
right.
don't, I genuinely cannot remember. Um, but I just feel like a lot of us just were very defensive. We had our guards up. We didn't know who we could trust, what could go on, blah, blah, blah. It was just like a lot
Mhm.
going on in the process. And after the process, I kind of got to know her more. And I just feel like she's just a very guarded individual. She's always on the defense. And
Yeah.
that's just how she is.
Mhm.
Once you get to know her, that kind of comes down.
Yeah.
Right. But I can't speak to other people's experiences with her. I don't
Right.
know.
Right.
Um,
I'm just talking about from what you saw, Jendaya. I'm definitely not making an excuse for Zoe at all. We're just trying to figure out where that energy came from.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know because I never thought that they were a thing. I thought that Zoe and Cadian was a thing, and then
Right.
Zoe was like told me like, "Oh no, I can't do the Cadian thing."
Oh,
And
okay.
then you know, I never knew him and Sharice like did they have something deep? I
I
don't
know
know.
that's what I'm asking you because
I know
it felt like he
there
was
was nothing going on between them as far as I knew, and
that's
according to what
weird.
Sharice has told me, there was nothing deep happening with them.
Well,
Like
maybe he liked
they
her.
even have a date? I
I
don't
don't
even know.
we don't know, but I'm saying for
I
him
don't
to be
think
that
so.
angry, maybe he liked her and his feelings were hurt because that is not the actions of a man that's not upset. Super weird. But anyway, moving off of Zoe, let's go back to your journey. You talked to Randall, you were getting to know Mike. Was there anyone else? Because obviously we've got a lot to talk about with those two triangles there. Was there anyone else that we did not see that you were kind of feeling that you had a connection to besides Randall and Mike? Because that's all that we saw. And maybe was there anybody else that you
I
felt?
mean, like I said, at first it was there with Swayze, but
Mm,
Swayze was like the whole kiss thing for him. It was like, oh nah, like you kiss somebody else. So
really?
I was written off after that. I didn't even know, but I was written off.
Okay.
But then he eventually told me, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever, whatever.
He eventually
Maybe
told
that's for the best. It's for the
he,
best. That was
he
for the
told
best.
you that he wrote you off because of the kiss.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
But that was for the best. Because he seems like he's in a happy situation. Um, so yeah. Those three were the only three. I was attracted to Justice and
Mm-hmm.
I was attracted to LJ, but neither one of those like went anywhere. Me and Justice was like always like we can like me and Justice can be cool, we can party, we can hang out, but when we start talking, it's like no. No, no, no. Let's not do any talking. Let's go places where we don't have to do talking. So, like I said, no, I never go to Dare. I ended up going to Dare, right? We
Okay.
don't talk. We don't do no talking at Dare, right? We just vibe. We listen to music, right? So that's it. That's
Okay.
all like so yeah, I was attracted to the two of them, but like that really didn't go anywhere with the two of them. And then
Okay.
yeah, it was just like, yeah, that was pretty much it.
Okay. So let's get into this. Let's because I want to ask you this before we start that. From when you watch the show back and you watch the interactions with both you and Mike and you and Randall, what did we not see that you knew? Because obviously there's a lot that we did not see. So I want to hear from you, like what was going on behind the scenes that kept you locked into both of those situations when we didn't really see a lot of the true chemistry between either side. Like we saw a little bit with Mike, but it wasn't really a
They
lot.
didn't show it. They didn't show it. They just didn't show it. Literally, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 one-on-one dates, 3 group dates, and then the date with my friends, the date with his friends, the date with his and then end date. Like I had the most dates of anyone with Mike. Literally, they only show me on the show going on one date with Randall and one date with Mike. They
Mhm.
don't show Mike and I went on a plethora of dates.
So what was
A
happening
lot
on
of
these
dates.
dates? Like
And so
tell us
even
about
though
that.
maybe that wasn't what we either wanted, because I wanted dates with Randall. Even and then I'm sure I don't know what he was thinking, but according to what I'm seeing on the show, he wanted dates with Brandy. But we always ended up on dates together. And so the connection just grew because we were attracted to each other, just like physically.
So what was happening
And
on
we
those
just
dates?
we kept ending up on these damn dates, and it just kind of happened. But
But were you in? I'm saying, what was happening on the dates? Were you guys enjoying each other's person?
yeah, we actually were. We like when we get in the same space, we get along. Like I don't think that we're compatible, but the attraction and the vibe and the energy was there. So it's like once we would spend so much time together, it would just happen naturally. Like at the white party, I spent more time with him at the white party than anyone. I remember us sitting on the couch like
Mhm.
for a while, like we were getting comfortable. And but then when we would talk to Tommy's wife, it would snap back in my head like we're not compatible, you know?
Why do you say you guys were not compatible?
Well, the kid thing, the whole how he expects his whole issue with the kisses and like, oh, since we're on a TV show, you can't be, that whole thing. I
What
just
is
can't.
that? We don't know what that is. What is that? You can't be
But
what?
just like he said in the digital exclusive, in a setting like this, he doesn't find it appropriate to be able to do that with different people.
Okay.
He doesn't think that's appropriate because we're in the setting of the show and the process or whatever, even
Mhm.
though that doesn't make any sense to me. But we were, again, that can make sense to him. We're just not on the same page. So we
Okay.
just weren't on the same page about a lot of things, including like some other things I was hearing in the streets, and then like some things he was saying. I was
What
like,
were you hearing in the street,
mm,
Kayla?
lots of things.
What's
I think Dominica spoke to it for all of us. Like I don't really want to speak to it because I don't want people to think I care because I really don't.
Okay. It's not about caring, but I mean, it does play into why you don't feel like you guys were compatible.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't feel like we were compatible. There was just a strong connection there. And then at the house, when he was like, "Oh, if the kiss with Randall or Zoe wouldn't have happened, things would be different." It's like it shouldn't be though. Like, don't say stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like would have been different. If you really wanted to rock with me, you would have rocked with me. Who
True.
cares if I was dealing with before you? And if you really wanted me, you could have made that. You could have did that
Mm-hmm.
and been aggressive and assertive about it, but that's just not his personality.
Yeah.
Or like I said, he's more used to women being like, "What's going on with you?" I'm trying to. And I was just kind of, I didn't talk to anybody at the pool party that didn't talk to me.
Mm-hmm.
Me and
Mm-hmm.
Samson didn't talk at the pool party because he didn't talk to me. Like I didn't talk. I don't like. I talked to the men that came and talked to me.
Okay. Why did you stay in the with knowing that you and Mike weren't compatible or feeling like you guys weren't compatible, even though you keep ending up on these dates? It's weird why they would keep putting you guys on dates when we're seeing that he and Brandy were like the strongest connection. Why did you stay connected to that, or like stay vested in it, knowing that you guys
Well,
weren't compatible?
well, what I will say is, per something I was told,
Okay.
is that they could feel and see that connection with us, and y'all saw on camera,
Mm-hmm.
and that was good to see.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure. I mean, I watched their scenes, and it was but I don't know. They felt like it was more going on, like that. It was just more. It was just like, wow, like even like Brandy said at the reunion, you could physically see it. Like we were very affectionate with each other. It just was
Mm-hmm.
like good to see. But
Yeah.
it's kind of stupid, like that y'all made me go through that, and then y'all didn't even show any of it.
That is weird, but that is weird.
Like,
But
why don't y'all take me with it? Y'all could have just put me on the dates with the people that I wanted to be on dates with.
which was Randall?
Who I was on dates with. We had our initial date, and then we had another date after that, and then we had a date right before the house.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have as many dates because he actually was on quite a few dates with Jamala and Trinika.
Right. Right.
But we would talk. We were talking every day, FaceTiming. Like would be like at night, before bed, like for like an hour. Like we would talk a lot, and I thought we were really like connecting. And then we got to the house, and I was like, oh, so it's a lot more going on over here than
You thought.
because like people would say, well, you should have known that. What do you mean I should have known? She came to the lounge, said she liked the guy that I like. So what's that supposed to mean to me? You know what I mean? I'm supposed
Right.
to know that she is like, know what? Like, I'm not going to listen to a girl that likes the guy that I like about where she's at with him. Everybody's going to be like, yeah, we're so solid. Like everybody's going to do that. You know
Right.
what I mean? So I wasn't listening to nothing that she was saying or the lady was saying. I was listening to what he was telling me.
So well, first I want to finish up with Mike because I guess I
Oh.
still don't understand why were you still giving him it felt like you were giving both of them a option, right? Like you were vested in both situations from what we saw. So I'm wondering why were you as vested in Mike if you felt like there really is not and there's not really any compatibility here, even though they keep trying to put you on dates and all that. Where was your heart at?
I don't know if my heart was anywhere, but I was attracted to him and it was easy. And
Okay. So maybe it
it
was
felt
lust.
natural. I
Was
felt
it
comfortable. I was just attracted to him. I found him very attractive.
was it more lust
Yeah.
than okay. Okay,
And I
that's
felt like, he's easy on the eyes
he
and
is.
I need votes and I can secure this one. So
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well
so I felt like we both were each other's number two.
okay. Okay. All right, there we go. That's all I
I
want
didn't
to hear.
and I just felt like it's just like a physical attraction that went too far.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't have went that far, but like they kept putting us together and so it just kept happening. It just kept
I did feel like you guys were both very physically drawn to one another. Like the person that you know may not be the best for you, but they're like a weakness. Chocolate is usually a weakness for a lot of people. So,
yeah, it was that.
okay.
Because
That's
even my
fair.
friend was like, "Kayla, this is looking very familiar.
Yeah.
Like it's giving your ex," because I always had like my ex like with the kid thing. And then with the always feeling like insecure, he was always just like, "Oh, people are talking to you," and like, So when Mike did that whole thing with Randall, like, this is the guy, because she was like, "Oh, nah, we ain't doing this again. We're
Yeah.
not doing this again."
Yeah.
Like, and that's really why I started crying because we was talking about my ex, and I was just like, "You are right.
Okay.
We are not doing this again."
So you had an
And then I
ex that
still
had
kept entertaining him, so it was just kind of like, this is so crazy."
you had an ex that had children. Did you get attached to the children, or how did that go?
Yeah, very toxic child's mother and family, her family, and it just was a major problem. And I love his son. I still love that kid, and
Mm-hmm.
that was hard. And I expressed that to Mike many times. We talked about that. I'm like, listen, I cannot do the crazy baby mama thing. I can't do it. I cannot do it. We
Yeah.
can't. He assured me we're good. It's healthy. It's good. Blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, cool. I can only, what am I supposed to do? I can only listen to what they're telling me. What else am I supposed to do? Like they tell me what's going on. That's all I know. I don't know anything else.
Yeah. No, that's
I don't
it's just
see them
I think
outside of
you
production.
listen to what they're telling you and then you use your own intuition or whatever your own internal discernment and that's all you can do. So, let's go over to Randall because it felt like you kind of really liked Randall more as far as the compatibility. The Mike thing did feel a lot like physical lust. Um I did think it was weird when Katie made that comment about you being the hot chick at work. That
So disrespectful
that
because we're
was
all single and we only known each other a month. Calm down,
yeah,
relax.
that was very disrespectful because it kind of pitted you guys against each other. I feel like that was out of pocket, but it was like to cause a competition. And then you kind of responded like more competition with Brandy. How do you feel about how that? Would you do
That
that?
wasn't about Brandy. One, I was speaking in general. Like,
Okay.
what are you trying to say? Because I thought Brandy was a bad bitch too.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to say?
Right.
That if someone like, and then I was more so talking about her. I was like, girlfriend,
Yeah.
you're 6 years my senior. You know what I mean? I was just kind of like, you're one to talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you was with the whole dude for 10 whole years and got absolutely nothing out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
don't do me like somebody's this and somebody's that when we're all single for a reason.
Everybody's single. And just because you're
Right.
white doesn't mean that you're fat and out of shape. Or
Right. So like, what
I
do you
don't
think?
know that you're doing
Like it
anything
was a
wrong.
juxtaposition, wife and young and hot. Why don't those can go together?
Right.
I'm
Right.
about to be that. A young, hot wife. Like, why does it young and hot or wife? Like they should go
Yeah.
together. That's why I was like, what does that mean? That if
Yeah.
because I'm hot, that I'm not wife material? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah.
I was just very offended by that. I was just like, that was also unnecessary. And again, you're in a situation that has nothing to do with you. And I just was like, I get what she was trying to do. Like, let's hold these men accountable. I get that. But like, ugh.
I didn't think that was cool either. I think that was lame to
It
try,
was
but I think and it
mean.
was to kind of bring out a competitive edge. All right, so let's go over to Randall and Jamala and Trinika because Kayla, it seemed as though I'm just going to tell you what I think, and you tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
It seemed like you were a thorn in Jamala's ass, and I feel like you knew that you were picking with her doing little things to get under her skin at the vacation. So you know, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I just think it's funny. Randall did not. It seemed like he wasn't clear, and you saw that it bothered Jamala when you guys spent time together, and so you kind of exploited that. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I
Okay.
can Me and Randall had a date right before the day before the retreat.
Okay.
And I'm like, what is going on here? No, I do something with you. When we get to the house, we're going to spend time together. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to see what's really going on here. Because I held him accountable. I'm like, you're not giving me time. I'm like, you want to say, oh, Kayla spent all this time with Mike? It's because you're not giving me time. So,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I'm going with the attention I'm getting. Like, you're not giving me time. Like, tell me a time where I didn't make time for you. And he's like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what? You're right. Make time. Like he said at the reunion, you wasn't making adequate time. When we
Okay.
get to the house, we're gonna make time. I'm like, okay, cool, bet this is gonna be fun. We got to the house. He was late. There was a flood in Miami that weekend. His engine got flooded.
Mm-hmm. He said that.
And that happened. So he was a little bit late. When he got there, we all was already in the pool. So he
Mm-hmm.
was in his regular clothes or whatever. He got in his room because he had a room catty corner to Trinica, like kind
Mm-hmm.
of off the side of the house, where his
Mm-hmm.
room was at. So then he came in, he had on his regular clothes. We played ping pong. Me and him played against Katie and Swayze. Blah, blah,
Okay.
blah. We go to the pool. We doing the questions game, as you saw.
Mm-hmm.
Then Jamala comes out. Well, no, Jamala was actually sitting there watching us play ping pong first. And then we went over to the pool. I don't know where she went, but then she came back to the pool. I don't know. Yeah. And so I just don't understand. No, okay. I'm just gonna ignore this chat because
Ignore the chat, Kayla.
that's not okay. That's not okay.
Which
um,
comment are you speaking about? Because I'm like trying to.
Leroya Frederick, who are these people? That is absolutely not true. And don't get me started on what is true. I'm really trying to keep it classy.
Okay, we're not. That's not even what we're talking about here. We're talking right here, Kayla.
But yeah.
Talking,
Anyway, I was like, I just want to get my time with him. That's what we talked about. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to see, like, let's see, like, what's going on here. Like, is this something for real? Like, you say you like me, I like you. Let's see. I was. Why would I do something to make another woman feel any kind of way? Like,
so, but
she knew.
you saw the way it looked, right? When
I
you're
seen the way
like,
it looked, but in the moment, I wasn't paying attention to that. I didn't even know that Jamala came. I literally, when you see me laying on the bed, I pop my head up because I had no idea. I'm like, where did she come from? I didn't even know she was there until literally I seen her go out and come out with her hat, and I'm like, where did she come from? And why is her stuff in here?
so
I
out
did not
there
know.
earlier, when you put your head on him, you didn't know that it was pissing her off at all.
No, she knows he's dating me. What are you mad about? You know that he's dating me. We're on a dating show.
Right. Okay. Okay. I'm just asking questions.
That's it. That's why, like, that way that they edited, I'm like, damn, like,
Yeah.
is that what happened? Because that's not what I felt in the moment. I
Okay.
was not aware in the moment until the hat, she came and got her hat and all that. And I'm like, well, why is her stuff in here? And he was just like, But in reality, he should have said, I told her we were staying in a room together. That would have been good information for me to know, which I didn't find out until later or whatever.
So,
I thought he was going to be in his room because
mhm.
you have 3 connections there. So I figured you were going to be in your room so that you could split time with your 3 connections, not be in a room with one of them, because how are you going to do that?
Well, yeah. Do you think that Randall, looking back on everything, because people gave Randall a hard time because it felt like he would not make a decision, Kayla. The chat, y'all got Kayla hung up today with the chat. Did you did you think that Randall handled the situation right? Because he said that you were told on the vacation that he definitely was going to choose Jamala.
Yeah, after that.
Okay.
So after Randall came in, after Jamala came in or whatever, I was like, what's going on with that?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Mm-hmm.
he was like, okay, I'm going to change it to my bathing suit. I'm like, okay, cool, for some reason, oh, he changed his bathing suit because that's what we went in there for him to change
Mhm.
his bathing suit. We went in the bathroom, changed his bathing suit, and that's why I was also very offended at the reunion talking about tickle his scrotum. I was not having any sexual contact with Randall, and so I was also offended by that.
That was out of
Everybody say I'm talking about people, but look at the shit people are saying about me. Like I
yeah.
did not have any sexual contact with that man. Like,
Yeah.
like for her to say that, like that's not okay. And
Yeah.
then when I come back, then I'm the bad guy, right?
No, no, I mean that was totally out of pocket. Everybody know that
People
comment
were
was
saying out
out
of
of
pocket shit about me this entire fucking season. Out of pocket. Like, but
So
I'm the mean girl, you
did
know?
you
But
right.
anyway, so that happened. Randall changed. We went back to the pool. We was at the pool,
Okay.
blah, blah, blah. Randall leaves the pool, right? We're all talking, we're engulfed in the game, as you
Mhm.
see. I think
Mhm.
there's a digital exclusive where it shows us. And like Randall ended up going somewhere, but I was kind of engulfed in the game that we were
Mhm.
playing. Then I look up, I'm like, where did Randall go? So I go to his room because I'm like, maybe he went back to his room. Maybe he forgot, I don't know, something that he needed for the pool. I go back to his room and I walk in on him and Jamala like kissing, making out. And I'm like,
Okay. Okay.
mm. So then she leaves the room. I sit down on a chair. I said, oh, so that's what you came back to the room for. And he was like, nah, I just came back here. And then she came in here. And I'm just like, so obviously it's a lot more going on here than you're telling me.
Right.
And then I'm like, and then he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what do I mean? So then I storm off to my room because I'm like, I feel bamboozled. I'm like, at that moment, I knew they was in some shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? So I go to my room and I'm like, I'm pissed. He comes up to my room later, whatever. We get into this little argument or whatever.
Mhm.
And then he says, you know what? I am invested in Jamala. And I'm like, invested? Like, what does that mean? Like, he just kept saying, I'm invested in Jamala. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Mhm.
Go on to Jamala room. Bye. You know what I mean? I didn't like put him out or anything, but the conversation just ended.
Yeah.
And so then like I was just pissed because I was like,
So do you feel like Randall was not true with he was not honest with you all this time because it for you to not know that was he telling you basically leading you to believe that you guys had a real connection prior to the vacation?
I still don't think that we didn't have a real connection. We did have a real connection. The thing is that he had a more intimate connection going on with her than he
Right.
was letting me know.
Okay. Okay.
So
So you
I
don't
was
feel
just
like
kind
he
of
was
like,
being
damn, like, you know what I mean? But we also didn't really talk about her. When we talked, we just was getting to know each other. We never talked about other women. We just talked about
so,
us.
so I guess I'm just trying to ask, are you okay with the way Randall handled the
No,
situation?
I'm not okay with it. He could have handled that
That's what I'm
situation very totally different. And I think he would even agree to that he could have
asking.
handled that whole situation differently.
So, Kayla,
He could have.
at the reunion, you were noticeably irritated, and which you were really irritated with. It seemed like Randall looked like he was miserable. He and Jamala did not look like they were together, but it seemed like I felt like you had some more information that we did not know. They kept going. The camera kept panning to you. You were rolling your eyes. Like, what was causing you to be so irritated at the reunion?
First of all, they used like 3 or 4 of the same me rolling my eyes multiple times.
It was extreme though. It was
Like they just take clips, they use them wherever they want to use them.
yeah.
Because it wasn't like that.
Okay.
I honestly was looking veering off. Like I remember I was veering off. I was zoned out low key. Whenever I would come back into the conversation, I would be like, this fake shit. And I would just zone back out. You know what I mean? But
What was fake though? What was causing you to be
okay,
like?
so as far as I knew at the time, him and Randall and Jamala were not communicating. They had just started communicating maybe a
Mhm.
week before the reunion.
Okay.
He was telling me they were not communicating because him and I were communicating.
Were you guys dating?
We were hanging out.
What
We
does
were
that
hanging out.
mean? What
Like
is
we were going out. We were doing like we were just hanging out.
that's a date though?
Okay, we were hanging out.
Okay. Okay, so he's telling you that he and Jamala are done.
Yeah, he's like, we're done. I'm done. It's finished.
Okay.
I'm like, are you sure? Are you
And you
sure?
were
Are you
okay.
sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? For weeks after the filming, are you sure? Are you sure? He
But
didn't
why,
stop.
but
He
wait, wait,
kept
wait.
going.
Wait,
He
wait,
kept going. He kept going. So I was
wait,
like,
wait,
okay,
wait.
maybe he for real.
Kayla, why were you okay with, because after he chooses Jamala, how is he even able to get back in that door to date you if he's chosen, I'm going to choose Jamala? He said it at the table. They went off into the sunset. What did he say to you to even make you open that door back up to start connecting with him again?
Um, he told, okay, so what they don't show is that our elimination date, Randall said on camera, like, I'm not gonna stop dating you after the show. Like, we're gonna be cool, I'm gonna keep talking to you or whatever. That date is edited and it looks so crazy because we kept saying that to each other. It's like, okay, cool. And they're like, no, we need somebody to make a definitive you know what I mean?
Were you okay? Well, why were you okay with that though, Kayla?
Well, because he also was just like, he told me at that time he was going to pick himself. So that's why I was pissed with him after. He was like, oh, I end up choosing Jamala. I'm like, okay. So why you told me you're going to pick yourself, you choose Jamala? He's just like, oh, I do really like her. And I just felt like that was, whatever. I felt like that was that made sense. I'm like, okay. But do you really like this girl? Or did you just feel like that made sense? Do you really want her like that? And he was just kind of like, I really liked her, but we're just not compatible. It just doesn't work. And I don't want to continue doing that. And I was just like, okay. And so he just kept persistent for weeks. And I was just like, okay, well, maybe, it's been like almost a month now. Maybe he really, really likes me. So then I started seeing him again. But then, the reunion happened, and then I'm like, oh, y'all about to come to the reunion? Like, y'all talking?
Yeah.
And so after that, I was like, what? Because that's not what's been going on, and that's not what you've been communicating to me.
Right.
And so then, but then he was like, I was just like, no, that doesn't make sense. And so then after that, then that's when I was just kind of like, you know what? I cannot do this because you're doing the same shit you was doing during the show. And I don't know really what to believe. Other cast members came to me saying like, I heard that they're talking again. And I asked him about it. He denied it, whatever. Right. He's like, no, he didn't deny. He said, we are talking again, but I don't see her.
Yeah.
I don't see her. And that was true.
Talking, but I don't see her. Randall, no.
It was just, I just was like trying to give him the benefit of the doubt that this show was just a lot. It was overwhelming. People were going through a lot of stress. He was very stressed. His job was stressing him out about how much time he was missing off work. And it was just a lot. I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. You know what I'm saying? But really, he was all over the place. He didn't know what he wanted to do. So I was just like, you know what? This is cool. We cool.
Yeah.
Kayla,
I think that you're not talking to him anymore, right?
No, we haven't spoken in months, actually.
Okay, good. I think that's good. I think
that's good too.
Yeah, you are a beautiful girl. You're obviously very intelligent. You have a great foundation. You're one of the few lucky ones that have, parents that are actively involved. You deserve someone that picks you, that you don't have to stop giving. Just my advice to you, you don't have to give people the benefit of the doubt. If a man is into you, you don't have to do that. He'll show you. And you deserve that.
And I think that you're right. But at the same time, I think that people, even in the comments with this whole side chick thing, we are strangers.
Yeah.
That met, for y'all to be like, oh, people are together. We just met. It hasn't even been 90 days. So for people to be like, oh, this person's choosing this person, choosing them to do what? To see that they want to keep dating them? Okay, but people.
Well, but no.
It takes time to get to know somebody. You don't know them.
No. You know what? It does take time to get to know somebody, but a man knows what he wants. And if he wants you, you will know it. And
that's facts.
Yeah.
That's facts. And I wasn't seeing it like that at that time because, I said, coming into the process, I was like, people here for TV, I don't know who's doing what. So after the show is what I was really judging because I'm like, people do all types of stuff for TV. But after the show, let's see, who's really, really, who are you really?
Yeah. Is there anybody else that you've gone out with from the show that you were open to? Because I know that, it looked like Looney and Justice were LJ is dating several people. Like, what is?
Yes, LJ has a day of the week with all of
So
us.
you were okay, okay,
That this is just a joke. This is
yeah.
just a joke. LJ's a good friend. We can party,
LJ,
we can hang out, we can even dance and
yeah,
like, have a good time. LJ's Islander, and I'm a dancer.
yeah.
I was a ballerina for 13 years, competition
Okay,
dancer. I have a very good resume. I was on tour with Pitbull, videos
okay,
with Nicki, Bryson Tiller, DJ Khaled, Rihanna. Like I'm a professional dancer.
okay,
Um, so, when we're out, we have fun.
yeah,
We dancing, we have a good time. And then it's like we dap each other up. It's fun. See you later.
yeah.
So LJ's just fun. It's just fun. We just hang out. He's just a good friend.
Good. Okay.
So
So
I
now
hope
you
people
tell
weren't taking that seriously, that whole day of the week thing.
they
It's a joke,
well,
guys.
I think people didn't know because when on the show, when Trinika said that, I think it was Trinika, people were just like, at this point, we don't know what to believe because it's a lot happening. But I will say yesterday when we were supposed to connect, you were like, I got something going on. Are you in a relationship now?
I'm seeing someone.
So you were in Kayla in the words. You in the wordplay. So you mentioned it was your man. Is it
I'm
someone that
seeing someone. I'm seeing
but
someone.
is
I'm
it
seeing someone exclusively.
exclusively? Okay, that's nothing wrong with that. I was just with Samson and Devin, and they both are in whole relationships. That's nothing wrong with that. I'm just asking so we know.
Yeah, I don't, this whole situation just made me feel like I need to keep things private until I really am ready for the vitriol that's gonna come. So I, I just want to let it be known that, like, you know, I'm not responding to DMs. They're open, but I'm not responding to DMs. I'm
Okay.
just focused on what I'm focused on. And like you said, when a man knows what he wants, he knows what he wants, and that's the
Yeah.
energy that I'm getting.
There you
And
go.
so I'm very happy. Like, I'm very happy with where I'm at.
Yeah.
um, I genuinely wish everyone the best.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wish Mike and Brandy the best. I hope that goes good. I hope that that's like authentic and that really goes somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Because Brandy deserves that. She's a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
I
I
wish
thought Brandy
Jamala the
handled
best.
herself.
In hindsight, now that I know all the things that I know, I fully
Mhm.
understand why Jamala was acting the way she was acting based on some of the stuff I was told that he was telling her
Okay.
about me,
Oh.
negative things that like were not true. So I get 100% now why she was acting that way, because
But that
we
reflects
all were
that
just
reflects
listening to these men. We all were doing that. We all were
yeah, but
listening to the
that
men.
reflects badly on Randall more than if Randall truly was talking negatively about you, somebody that you were seeing to another woman, then that just gives us more reason
Yeah, I
to
found out
judge
he was
her.
saying some very, very, very negative things. And
Yeah,
it's just kind of like, don't do that when you did all this extra to get me to talk to you again.
it's
And then
game.
you're telling her these things. Like, I don't, I can't get down with that. And it's like,
Yeah.
I really don't want to really talk about it much, but just like, I just can't. I can't.
Well, it's game. I'm glad that you're in a healthy relationship. I wish you much success.
Thank you.
You have a great resume. Keep doing you. I appreciate you jumping in and spending your Halloween night with us. We do have you guys stay right there. We're actually getting ready to talk to Jamala because we got now they're back to back. But I'm so glad that Kayla did make time and we got a chance to hear from your side.
Me too.
Keep making men rise to the occasion. And
Thanks.
I'm sure you do that. The show just, the show is going to be the show.
It's a
But
tough place to
yeah,
find
I'm
love for
sure.
sure.
I'm sure. But we wish you much success. Definitely check back in with us. And don't be afraid to like do you, Kayla. Keep doing you. If that man makes you feel amazing, I don't think that people should put their relationships out until they're comfortable, but definitely don't not do it because of other people. Like live for you. Don't even the comments. You got to learn to stop reading the comments because the comments are not important in your life as long
Yeah.
as you're happy.
Yeah, and I wish love and light, like, I genuinely wish good things for all of the women.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that like 90% of the women were really there for the right reasons. I feel like we all were there for the right reasons. Now these men, that's another situation, but I
Yeah.
genuinely think all the women were there for the right reasons, and I wish that we had talked to one another about what they were saying to us versus just
Yeah.
listening to what the men were saying. Um,
Well, it's a
and
good
so
way
that's
to
really
it's a good
unfortunate.
lesson. It's
Yeah.
a good lesson and women need to first of all trust your discernment and then don't listen. Watch what a man does. If his actions don't align with his words, then it's time to go. I don't want us to be late for Jamala
Yes.
because I try to start these on time. So thank you so
Okay.
much, Kayla.
Thank
Bless.
you. Have a
Okay.
good night.
All right, you guys, stay right there. We're coming right back. We have Jamala right now at 9:30. So we're getting ready to go right over and listen to her. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll be right back.